Yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, hey, la, hey, la, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, la, hey, la. Mitakuye. Welcome everyone. Today is the 25th of July. It's Saturday afternoon. And I'm just sitting here with the acoustic, just strumming some chords and thinking random thoughts. The first two words I said, Mitakuye oyasin. In Lakota, this means all my relations, or we are all relatives. Mitakuye means my relative, and oyasi means all. So this is a very powerful expression that's used in a lot of Lakota ceremonies. It's used in speeches, and it's very deep. It has a very deep definition in that it also means everything inside of you. Yeah, everything inside of you is all connected, and it all is related. It's everything inside of you is relatives. It's like you have a tioshbai inside of you. The tioshbai is like a extended family system, and whatever happens to one part affects everything. Yeah, you get up in the middle of the night to go raid the refrigerator, and as you're walking through the hallway, and your toe stubs on the refrigerator door or something else, and you're for a few seconds your hunger disappears. But it goes throughout your body. Yeah, you feel a lot of things, and all kinds of sounds come out of you. Yeah, maybe cussing sounds or whatever. Yeah, but but you see, everything goes through. Yeah, the sensation goes throughout your body. Lots of things do that because everything inside of us is connected. Everything is like relatives inside of us. So there's a Mitakuye oyasin, it's like everything inside of us too. Yeah? And then it reflects to everything around us. So when we say all my relatives or all my relations, we're talking about all life, all humans, all plants, the fish, the water, the air, the clouds, everything, even beyond. Yeah, everything out there too. Our relatives out there, out in some other galaxy, some other planet, some other whatever. We're all connected. Yeah, this is the beauty of this, and that everything affects everything. Every communication affects everything. So, in the Lakota language is designed to speak in a clear way, to not use the language to confuse others or to lead to misunderstandings or to trick other people by deception. So Lakota language tries to do this. So it's spoken in a very gentle way, and that when you hear somebody speaking, they're speaking from the heart. Yeah. So this is why a lot of times they say that chante etanha owoglake. That means speaking from the heart. Chante means heart, etanha means from, and owoglake means speaking. Okay? So that's a very beautiful expression too. But Mitakuye, this is a relative. Yeah, my relative. When you look at something like, say for example, you walk into nature and you see a tree and you go, wow, this is a magnificent tree. And so you can say, my relative, the tree, and you can talk to it. Yeah, because plants, everything actually has a way of communication. It may not be the same way as how we do it, but they still have a way of communicating. The trees, for example, a lot of trees, they share roots. So what happens to one, the other one feels it. See how connected they are. They really can tell things because they feel things before we know they're going to happen. The trees, the roots go into the ground. They know when the water is going to be plentiful or not. If there's something in the air that is signaling a difficult summer or a difficult winter, they know it right away. So there are some people who can pick up on that too, yeah? And some people can communicate with trees. They can hear, they can understand the language that they use. Yeah? So we can get messages from plants. We can get messages from lots of things everywhere. There's medicine everywhere. And the people who work with plants in Lakota, these are medicine people. They are able to communicate with the plants, and the plants teach them a song or a certain words that they need to say when preparing the plant to be processed into medicine. So this way, the medicine is effective. It carries the energy of the song. Yeah, the song has medicine in it. Music is sacred. Yeah, so when we look at a plant in this manner, or even just to look at it, yeah, just to walk into nature and say, wow, this is my relative. Now I want to focus on that. Okay, do I say, ah, here's Bob the tree? Do you think it really has the name Bob? There's my friend Joe the chipmunk. Oh my. No, we say my relative. When we say my relative, it shows that we are looking at each other as relatives. The name is not important, but what is important is that we have a relationship to each other. So the name is not the important thing. So this is why we say my relative. Yeah. Hello, my relative. If we don't know somebody and we meet somebody for the first time, we could say that. Regardless if it's a male, female, somebody from your parents' generation or your children's generation or whatever, you can say, hello, my relative. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to meet you. I'm happy for this opportunity to talk with you. You can start a conversation like that. Ha Mitakuye, a man could say. A woman would say, Ha Mitakuye. See, that's a really beautiful word, my relative. It shows that we consider everything a relative. And when we do that, when we think like that and talk like that, then we have more concern for it. We think of it, we talk with it, and we are concerned for it. We want it to live too. It helps to nurture this kind of thinking when we consider everything a relative, because the plants do so much for us. It's incredible. We are here because of the plants. A lot of trees make air for us to breathe. It's wonderful for all life to breathe. And some trees and plants, they have their kind of emotions too, just like we have emotions. And sometimes they're scared. Sometimes they feel pain. Sometimes they're screaming, and we're not even aware of it because we don't understand their language. But when we say to them, my relative, then we look at them more. We think about them more deeper. More deeper. Yeah, really good English. We think about them deeper. We are becoming more concerned for them. And then we might be able to tap into that, yeah, by hugging it or whatever. And then we think, oh, this tree is feeling something. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I feel a little bit troubled. So you talk to it. You can talk to it in a gentle way. It will be calmed by your voice. This works. Long time ago, I moved into this apartment in Berlin, and it was a really nice apartment. But the people that lived in there were an old couple before me. And both of them were really, really chain smokers. Yeah, they were two walking factories. Well, actually, one was bedridden. The wife was bedridden, and the man could move around. They lived there for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. It was a really nice apartment, but when they moved out, oh, it just stunk bad in there. It was all cigarette smoke. The cigarette smoke was in everything. It was in the walls. It was in everything. And so I had to get a renovation done. Change the wallpaper, change the wiring. A lot of things had to be changed. I got a new kitchen. I got a new bathroom. The apartment was totally, totally renovated. But what was really interesting was there was a plant there, a small plant that you can find in IKEA. These are the kind of plants that don't need too much water. It's kind of like a small palm tree. I think they can get pretty big, yeah, these plants, because I've seen a full-grown one before. And this plant, it looked just terrible. Its tree stem was curved all kinds of ways because this plant was placed in a dark corner and the window was kind of far away, and you could see that this plant was struggling for the window to receive some sunlight. And because of that years of struggling, the stem of the tree was bent all just crazy, out of shape. And some of its palms were starting to fall off. It was ready to die. And the people who were renovating were going to throw it out. And I said, wait. I want to keep this plant. And they thought I was crazy. But I took the plant, and I was still in my old apartment. So I took it up and I talked to it, and I talked with somebody who is really good with plants. So I can know how to take care of it because I don't have a green thumb. But I have a really good friend who works at a plant store, and she told me exactly what to do. So I followed her instructions to the T. And I started talking to the plant too. I put the plant by the window, and slowly, maybe in about 1 or 2 weeks, it started to change. And I could tell it was happy. I just felt it. Before it was all scared. It was in pain. It didn't want to die. It was struggling to live. And I found it just in time. And so I was able to nurture it back. And every day I would talk to it and sit with it and sing to it. And it started to grow in a really nice way. It didn't completely straighten out, but it straightened out enough to stand strong. Yeah? And that plant was with me for many years. I loved that plant. It helped me too. A few years later, I went through a very difficult experience in my life. And the plant was there for me. And it helped me. You see, we helped each other because we're relatives. This is a beautiful thing. So I encourage you to really keep these people in mind. Yeah, when go out into the nature or go to a forest or a park, wherever you are, even if you're in a prairie, it doesn't have to be trees, but there's as long as there's plants there, and talk to them. There's all kinds of plants. They're all here for a purpose. And it's not good when people say, okay, I'm going to make a garden, but I got to pull out the weeds first, and then, make sure there's no weeds, and then to make sure no weeds come back, I'm going to put some chemicals in the ground, and the chemicals are going to make the ground better anyway, and they'll keep the weeds out. This is very judgmental, and it's not healthy, because there's a reason for every member of creation to be here. What people call weeds, these plants have medicines for certain illnesses. Just because they look ugly, it doesn't mean they're bad. And just because something looks pretty doesn't mean it's good. When we see things like that, we are dualistic, we're judgmental. We look at things and say, oh, I like that, I like that, I like that, so those are good. And everything else that tries to attack that, that's bad. See, that kind of thinking is what separates us from each other and from creation and from nature and from the earth. And this way of thinking is going to make the world inside of you sick. You will get physically sick when you think like this, because you're calling something bad just because it looks ugly, or just because you think, oh, it's taking over my garden. You see, it's not attacking the other plants. It has a right to be here too. It has a medicine. If it were not for these weeds, how would you know a rose is beautiful? If all the flowers, all the plants were just roses, how would you know it's beautiful if that's all there is? Everything has beauty. Everything has a piece of the earth in it. And in the Lakota star knowledge, there's another thing called Iya. Everything has a piece of that too. This is another way of how we are all connected to each other. So when you're into the nature and you look at what's there, don't regard something as bad just because it looks scary, just because you've never seen it before and it scares you, or you think it's ugly, or you think it's poisonous, or whatever. Yeah, maybe some things are poisonous for us, and that's fine. We just don't use it. We don't take it. But maybe it serves the purpose for something else. Maybe we are poison to other things too. Do you see what I mean? So we have to respect one another and just try to find ways to get along with each other. And that does not mean we all have to agree. We can agree to a disagree. Yeah? But plants, they have medicines that we need. Not only for humans, but for animals too. Animals know these things too. They know which plants to use to put on their fur so that they can be safe. Yeah, there's lots of stories like that in our culture where people have seen animals do certain things with plants. It was really magical. And that's how we got medicines. We watched it. We watched what like say for example, a rabbit. We saw what he was doing. There's one story that goes, this coyote was chasing this rabbit, and the rabbit was running and running and running, and he found a plant that had a lot of thorns in it. I forget which plant it was because I'm not not an expert at names. Yeah, but this plant had thorns in it, and so he ran inside of it, and then he got the stem, he broke it, and then some milk came out of it, and he wiped it over his body, and he was able to avoid a lot of things. It was a child who saw this, and then the coyote was not able to find him. And so from this story, the boy has this knowledge now. So he tells his grandma, and then they tell everybody in the camp, and they say, hey, this is pretty cool. Let's go see where that is. So the boy took him there, and he saw the little broken stem, and they were like, ah. And then they got the idea, hey, we can use this for this, and this, and this. Do you see? The animals knew it. Yeah? So, and from this story, we learn to use this plant as well in a healthy way and to respect it. Now, in the Lakota way, when we take something, we always give something back. We always give something back to nature, to the earth. We don't just take. Okay? So, that's the spirit because we're all relatives. Yeah, we are all relatives. So, the plants can give us a lot of medicine. They can really help us. Like I told you in my life experience I just shared with you, that one that I thought was ready to die, I helped it. And then later, 7 years later, it helped me. Yeah? And I'm very grateful. That plant has a very special place in my heart. Every time I think of that plant, I get emotional. You see? We should strive to be that way. Yeah? This is because we are all relatives. Mitakuye. Yeah? This palm tree plant, my relative. Do you see what I mean? So, this is why it's a good idea to take care of plants. Put some in your house, and when you learn how to take care of a plant, this helps you in communicating with other humans as well. The plants can teach us that. Isn't that wonderful? I think that's really cool. Yeah, I really like that. So, really, when you're out there, like I said, think of the nature and walk among it and call it Mitakuye, my relatives, the plants, yeah? That you can do that. And do that every day. Like I said, it'd be really cool if you had a plant in your house or your apartment or wherever you are, because it's going to bring you so much joy. It's going to bring you so much medicine. And when it feels that you are really doing nicely, it feels nicely too. And you're taking care of each other because you're relatives. We're all relatives. Yeah? Mitakuye oyasing. Isn't that a beautiful expression when you think about it? I think so too. Yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, I think the more that we see each other as relatives, then we start to take the time to get to know people. We're not so quick to judge others just because they have a different skin color or they speak a different language or they dress a different way, but that we see that there's a lot of things that we have in common as people. Yeah? And just think of it, yeah. In this world, so many people in this world, but we all bleed red. And even then, there's only four blood types, major blood types, yeah. And a lot of things bleed red. A lot of animals do. Even some plants, they bleed red too. Yeah? It's a wonderful thing. This is why in the Lakota way, red is considered sacred. It's because it represents life. On the beginning of this earth, and it was very hot, and there was lava flowing all over. And that's the red, yeah? That's the blood of our grandmother Earth. She was just being born, and there was blood going all over her as she was started to cool down and was able to, the water cycle was created from there. And life, yeah? Red is life. So you try to think about it like that, yeah? You go out there and you see people in the world, and as long as you're taking care of yourself, you'll be able to handle whatever situations life throws at you, whether they're difficult or whether they're blessings. We are all connected. And the most important thing is that we live our life in a healthy way, because when we live in a healthy way, we communicate in a healthy way, and we influence others in this way. So when we run into somebody who's going through a difficult time, they pick up on that energy, and maybe it gives them a new thought, maybe a new thought pattern, and something changes for the better for them, just like the way the plants influence us by giving us air to live. It's wonderful. Yeah? It's really wonderful. It's a wonderful day. It's a very wonderful day. Ho Mitakuye. Dayan umonielo. Walk in peace. Doksha ake.
To read more about Lakota Star Knowledge spirituality, you can read my book called Wichocha Otechike. You can see the book cover on the right side of this screen. This book contains the information to what I talk about on my Lakota spirituality videos. To purchase this book, please click below where it says Show More. Clicking on that link will open up the description below, and there you will see a link called To Purchase My Books. As you will see, it's an eBay link. Click on that eBay link, and there you will see the information to get this book. Lila Pilamayelo. Thank you very much.